Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rob, and welcome back to the Yorg. Today is going to be the last episode of the Yorg. I've played through a few times and have had repeats in quite a few of the events, so I don't want the series to get stale. Today we're going to be playing as everybody, and we're going to be playing the game a little bit oddly, not the way it's supposed to be played. We're going to be playing with the intention to win. So I'm going to give everybody a job to play in the end and try and get them as best suited for that job as we can within these 6 weeks. So Frank is going to be our builder, Fran is going to be the smelter, Roger is going to be the leader, and Meredith is going to be our doctor. So let's get started. The Yorg will be here in 6 weeks, and no one expects it. Not a one of us. We just keep on living our lives, week by week, unaware. Meredith is going to go straight to the hospital because she's a doctor. Tend to patients. You spend the week diagnosing and tending to the sick. You gain 2 mind and earn 1 wealth. One day a patient, remember him. He wants some water, but we're not going to give it to him. Despite your intention to ignore him... What? Despite your intention to ignore him, you find yourself completely unable to risk obeying this man's request. You bring him a small glass of water to quench his thirst. Ah, shit. Oh god. We're having the hallucinations about wizards. You gain 3 magic, you lose 3 mind. Maybe we should make Meredith our sorcerer instead. That might be a good idea. Okay, Frank. You fight in the arena because he needs lots of physique. You spend the week fighting brutes in the arena. You gain 2 physique and 1 finesse. One day while wandering the halls, one of the arena's fighters approaches you. Excuse me, sir, I need a sparring partner, he says. Are you down for a fight or 2? No. I don't think so, I'm not strong enough yet. Thanks, he says. Later on you see the 2 of them taking turns punching each other in the face. Preferring not being punched in the face, you feel you made a good decision. You gained 1 mind. I'll slow down a bit because I feel like I'm tripping over my words. Okay, so Fran goes to the forest to chop some wood, because as a smelter she's going to need a bit of physique. Chop wood. You spend the week cutting down trees for the village. You gain 2 physique and earn yourself 1 wealth. One night through the trees you spot a group of cloaked figures all standing in a circle. They are chanting in unison. O mighty lord of the night, master of beasts, bringer of pain and derision. You accidentally step on a twig, producing a loud cracking noise. They immediately stop chanting and look over in your direction. Run for it. As you're running through the forest, you trip on a twig and fly face first into a tree. You lose 1 physique. You wake up covered in leaves. It appears that they never found you. You have a terrible headache, though. You lose 1 mind. Okay, and Roger is going to go to a ball to get his charisma up. You spend the week attending fancy gatherings. You gain 2 charm and 1 finesse. One day you overhear the jester tell a joke to a group of people. Everyone laughs, but you didn't understand the joke at all. Try and figure it out on your own. You never manage to figure it out. You've begun coming to terms with the fact that your sense of humour is lacking. Being more self-aware, you manage to exude an aura of confidence. You gain 1 charm. They say the last time it came, the Yorg devoured houses whole, stole lives, tore families and family members apart. But that was so very long ago. Okay, Meredith is going to go meditate to try and reduce the effect of this bloody mental disease she has. Meditate. You spend the week in deep meditation. You gain 1 magic and 2 mind. Over the course of the week, you notice yourself growing more and more spiral-shaped sores all over your body. One day, the sores begin glowing a vibrant blue. You feel your magical power grow even stronger while your mind slips further and further away. You gain 3 magic. You lose 3 mind. In no time, the sores are glowing so bright that they hurt to look at. Someone rushes up to you, asking if you're alright. With only a glance, you set him aflame. Then you let out a scream that shakes the earth and shatters the skulls of all nearby. A river of blood coats the ground as you walk about, reveling in your destruction. You black out. When you come to, you're at home in your bed. Your sores have faded and you feel like the disease's symptoms have passed. Okay, Frank is now going to go and chop wood in a Frank place. You spend the week cutting down trees for the village. You gain 2 physique and earn yourself 1 wealth. One day you stumble upon a tall, nicely trimmed hedge in the middle of the woods. You sit and eat your lunch in front of the hedge, wondering what exactly it's doing out in the woods. Suddenly, an enormous hand erupts from the foliage. Punch it! You manage to punch the hand so hard that you appear to have shattered one of its fingers. The hand recoils back through the hedge. You then run away faster than you ever have in your life. You gain 2 physique. Excellent. Fran is going to bet in the arena. Get some money. You spend the week placing bets on your favourite fighters. You gain 2 wealth. While wandering around the halls between matches, you spot your former lover, Kelly. An awkward exchange happens in which you want to know how they're doing without seeming to care too much. After a few minutes, Jean, one of the most popular fighters in the arena, butts into the conversation. Hey Kelly, sorry to interrupt. We've got to leave right away if we want to make it to your mother's in time. You say an awkward goodbye as they walk off holding hands. How do you feel? Extreme jealousy. We want that physique. You become extremely grumpy for the rest of the week. You lose 1 charm. While you're no fun to be around, you channel your rage into working out. You gain 2 physique. Oh yeah. And Roger? Let's keep working on that charm, I think. Attend a ball. You spend the week attending fancy gatherings. You gain 2 charm and 1 finesse. One day you decide to lean up against a wall just to take a break. It rotates as you apply pressure and you stumble down a set of stairs. You enter a large dusty room filled with barrels. You found the king's famous wine cellar. Last time we hosted a party, this time we're going to keep quiet about what we saw. Just knowing you have a secret to hide is so exciting. You gain 1 charm and 1 mind. It was honest in a heartbeat, or so the stories go. The earth shook, the air went still. Meredith, go back to the hospital, I think. Just to get her mind up a bit. Tend to patients. You spend the week diagnosing and tending to the sick. You gain 2 mind and earn 1 wealth. One day the bloodletting leeches somehow escape from their containers. Leeches start flooding into the hallway. There are people screaming everywhere as leeches slither towards them. Somebody do something! Yells one of the doctors, but we can zap the leeches with our magic. You wave your hand, unleashing a wave of magic to disintegrate the leeches. The leeches all poof into dust. You save the hospital with your quick thinking. You gain 1 mind. Frank, chop more wood. Chop wood. You spend the week cutting down trees for the village. You gain 2 physique and earn yourself 1 wealth. One day you hear a howl nearby, followed by the rustling of leaves. Stand and fight. You raise your weapon, ready to fight whatever it is out there. A blur leaps onto you from out the bushes and knocks your weapon from your hands. You throw the beast off of yourself and make a run for it. You get away safely. You gain 1 physique. Fran is going to bet again, because we need lots of money. You spend the week placing bets on your favourite fighters. You gain 3 wealth. One day while wandering around the hall, you spot Jean. Suppress your anger. Last time we punched him right in the face. Let's see what happens if we suppress our anger. You walk right by and manage to keep your cool. You gain 2 charm. Oh, that's alright. Now, let's... Wait, why can't we go to the gardens? Oh no, that's where What's-Her-Face broke everything, so we can't go to the gardens anymore. Shit. So where's the best... I guess the hospital's the only place to gain mind now, isn't it? Or maybe you might be able to get mind in here, but I'm gonna... I don't know what to do, actually. You know what? I'm gonna fight criminals. Fight crime as, Roger. You spend the week outsmarting and beating up criminals. You gain 1 mind, 1 physique, and 1 finesse. One night, a small child approaches you with his hands cupped and outstretched towards you. I wish I had some money. But I can't give it to you, sorry. Give him some coin. You're also broke. You don't have a penny you could spare. You end up hanging out all night, though, talking with a child. Here, a child's outlook on the world allows you to see things in a slightly different light. You gain 1 mind. And then the world was a howling fury. Chaos. Screaming. The sound of all we know being pulled in half. Okay, Meredith. Mind. Well, let's go brew a potion, because I think that might get our mind up. Brew a potion. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day you hear cries for help coming from the next room. Running over to investigate, you see that the alchemists there have accidentally created an ooze monster. How do you dispatch the ooze? Blast the ooze with magic, of course. You pulverize the ooze into a puddle with an array of magical spells. The alchemists all cheer. You gain 1 charm. Okay. Frank. Okay, so let's think about this. Because he is about to become a werewolf, and wherever he is when that happens is going to get wrecked, and we won't be able to go back. I think as long as we stay... I don't think anybody needs to go into the forest, so let's wreck the forest. Chop some more wood. You spend the week cutting down trees for the village. You gain 2 physique and earn yourself 1 wealth. One day... Oh no, we escaped the werewolf, didn't we? One day you hear hundreds of footsteps rumbling through the forest in your direction. It's an orc raiding party. What do? Shit. Hide? That's probably finesse. You jump into a nearby ditch. Unfortunately, your bright coloured clothing signals you to their presence. They capture you. Shit. In your holding cell, you contemplate the weight of your own mortality. You lose 1 mind. The next morning, the orcs are all gone and your cell is unlocked. What happened? Damn. Bet again. As Fran. Bet on a fight. You spend the week placing bets on your favourite fighters. You gain 0 wealth. Shit, this isn't going so well for her, is it? Uh-oh. I'm gonna... Somebody's... Shit. Defend yourself. We can't... Oh god. We don't have much money. We need a lot more money. We've only got 2 more tries to get it as well. Okay. We need more mind. Let's send him to the hospital if we won't mind. Tend to patients. You spend the week diagnosing and tending to the sick. You gain 2 mind and earn 1 wealth. One day you hear spooky sounds echoing through the hospital. Soon afterwards, a glowing blue ghost floats down from the ceiling. She seems to be wandering the halls aimlessly, howling out horrible noises. She doesn't appear to realise that she is freaking everyone out. You decide to do something about it. Talk calmly to the ghost. You approach the spirit and try to explain to her the effect she is having on the sick. She seems to understand what you're telling her and apologise for bothering everybody. She walks through the wall and is never seen again. The doctor tosses you a sack of coins as a way of saying thanks. You gain 2 wealth. When it arrives this time, how will we fare? Will we once more rebuild, move on, be strong, or have we forgotten? Okay, she may as well stick around in the alchemy tower, I guess. Brew a potion. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day you hear one of the alchemists shout, Eureka! When you look over to see what he's done, you spot a small previously dead ferret come to life. I figure out the antidote to death, the alchemist explains. The undead ferret lets out a horrific noise and lumbers about slowly. Praise the alchemist's accomplishment. That's amazing, you say, slightly discomfited by the ferret's presence. You didn't hurt the alchemist's feelings. You gain 1 charm. Okay. So we've got a really high physique. But let's go... Actually, no, because I think I want... No, let's go fight crime to get our finesse up, because we might need finesse as a builder. Fight crime. You spend the week outsmarting and beating up criminals. You gain 1 mind, 1 physique, and 1 finesse. One day while wandering the slums, you notice that the stones used to line the road seem to have a certain pattern to them. You don't manage to figure out the mystery, but you feel pretty smart for noticing the patterns on the tiles. You gain 1 mind. Fran, what are we gonna do? We need money. Bet on a fight. Come on, get a good amount of money. You spend the week placing bets on your favourite fighters. You gain 5 wealth. Excellent. One night on your way home you spot a rusty dagger on the ground. Let's leave it, because I don't think she has anything which will make her worthy, and it'll just dissolve. Leave it. The rest of your walk is uneventful. The fact that the highlight of your week was spotting a piece of rusty metal makes you a little sad. You lose 1 mind. She's going mental. Okay, Roger. Go to a ball. Attend a ball. You spend the week attending fancy gatherings. You gain 2 charm and 1 finesse. One day the court jester approaches you. Would you like to learn to juggle? He asks excitedly. I'll teach you everything I know for a small sum. Let's see what happens if I say no thanks. Says the jester. He walks away disappointed. That evening, on the way home, you find a golden coin on the ground. What luck! You gain 1 wealth. The org. It's almost here. Almost. Okay, let's look at everybody's stats. Okay, Meredith is. I like where she is. Yeah. Fran. That's not so great, unfortunately. Roger. I also like where he is. I'll probably fight crime this time. Is there anything that raises up your charm and your mind at once? I don't think so. No. And Meredith, no. Oh, so that's everybody. Fran is our major problem, I think. So, I guess we could get our magic up a bit more. I wish I hadn't wrecked the garden, because the garden was quite useful. Let's clean the land. No, brew a potion. Brew another potion. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day while in the tower, one of the alchemists asks you to watch his potion while he's out. Soon after he leaves, the potion begins bubbling out of control. If you don't do something soon, it'll explode. Drink it? You quickly drink the potion. Your stomach can't seem to handle the potion. Fire erupts from your esophagus, and for a solid minute you're shooting a jet of fire from between your lips. That burns. You lose 2 physique. That's okay. What a learning experience, though. You gain 1 mind. Frank, he's got really high... He's got everything he needs, really. So let's go send him to chop some more wood. You spend the week cutting down trees for the village. You gain 2 physique and earn yourself 1 wealth. One day during your forest excursions you stumble upon a swarm of rats. At first you jump backwards in shock, but then you start to hear them conversing with one another. They call you over. "Excuse me, sir," one of them says in a high-pitched voice.
"Oh, do you think you might be able to help us out with something? You see, we're trying to elect our new leader, but it seems our votes are completely tied. We're trying to decide between Seedpaw the Vengeful and Blightooth the Wise," says the rat.
Seedpaw steps forward.
"If you vote for me, the rats will have a powerful leader, one who isn't afraid to take our fight to the enemy,"
proclaims Seedpaw. Blightooth steps up.
If you vote for me, good sir, I will lead these rats to an age of enlightenment, says Blightooth.
Which rat do you choose? Let's choose Seed Paw. Half the rats roar with tiny applause. Blightooth bows his head and walks back into the mass of rats. Seed Paw climbs up your shoulder and whispers fighting tips into your ear as thanks. You gain 1 finesse and 1 physique. Excellent. And one final bet. Come on. You spend the week placing bets on your favourite fighters. You gain 3 wealth. One day in between matches you stumble upon one of the higher ranked fighters ingesting illegal strength potions. Please miss, don't report me, she cries. I'll even share some of my potion with you if you keep quiet. Report her. It gives us some money. You report the fighter to the arena officials. They thank you for bringing it to their attention and hand you a small sack of coins. You gain 2 wealth. The fighter investigates and receives a lifetime ban from the arena. Okay, we've got Roger. Finally Roger. I think one final ball is the best thing for us to do. 10 ball. You spend the week attending fancy gatherings. You gain 2 charm and 1 finesse. One day the king approaches you. Excuse me, but you look like someone who I can confide in, he says. I really want a prince to take over the throne, but the queen and I... we aren't exactly active in the bedroom. He blushes a little. Do you have any advice on how I could romance the queen, so to speak? And because we've got very high charm, we will do that. You spend hours drawing a bunch of diagrams and going through scenarios with the king. By the end of it, he's just as charming as you are. He thanks you and hands you a large sack of coins as a reward. You gain 3 wealth. The storm arrives in the night, and it wrecks everything. Okay, Meredith. She started out as a doctor, but she's actually going to be our conjurer. You take it upon yourself to help conjure up spirit supplies for the town. With your magic, you summon supplies of the highest caliber. With little effort, you're summoning high-quality lumber and food from out of nowhere. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. Okay, green is Frank, the builder. You take it upon yourself to help rebuild the town by hand. You rebuild homes at breakneck speed, impressing the rest of the survivors. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. Meredith, the smelter. I wish he was a bit richer, but this should be okay. You volunteered to smelt your now useless coins into building materials. Your former riches provide a wealth of metal for survivors to build with. This helps the survival effort immensely. You lose a lot of money in the process, though. You lose 3 wealth. You lose another 3 wealth. And finally, Roger, our brave leader, our dear leader, our fearless leader. You take upon yourself to be the leader of the survivors. You expertly delegate and prioritize tasks. You give motivating speeches and act as an effective mediator in disputes. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. And so we set about our tasks, once more living our lives, this time in a way we might never have expected or even wanted, but in the end... we flourished! Towers once wrecked and ravaged rose towards the sky. Trees again took root, then blossomed. We all blossomed. And though it took a long while, and though it took a lot from us, our future is bright. Should the Yorg ever return, we will be ready. Ah, isn't that beautiful? Now, let's see. What happens to all our brave heroes afterwards? Meredith, the Yorg changed you, probably for the better. With the town rebuilt, you decide to retake your role as a doctor in the hospital. There, you make friends with another doctor. The 2 of you do everything together. You're inseparable. Eventually, you even decide to get an apartment and live with each other. Then your friend gets married and everything changes. Their spouse has to move away to a new town, and your friend follows. You try to keep in touch by mail, but the letters start to come less and less frequently. You try to fraternize with the other doctors. While they're all nice people, nothing can compare. So Meredith doesn't end up too happy. Frank. After the town is rebuilt, you decide to move out into the woods. You become the friendly local lumberjack and fashion yourself a log cabin. This is what happened before. You spend most of your days chopping down giant trees and carrying the logs to the town gate. You make friends with the dryers of the forest and spend every weekend at their wild river parties. All in all, you lead a good life. Good for Frank. Good for Frank. With the town rebuilt, you spend most of your time in the new arena. Through strategic betting and a bit of luck, you become extremely wealthy. Unfortunately, you get greedy and keep betting to try and make more and more coin. You end up losing it all. You're forced to live out the rest of your days in the slums. Oh, poor Fran. Finally, Roger. With the town rebuilt, you decide to celebrate. You organise a huge festival in honour of the bravery that helped save so many lives. The first one is so successful that you decide to make it an annual tradition. Every year the festival gets bigger and bigger and more elaborate. And every year it costs more and more money to put on. You have to start charging admission and no one is happy about that. The annual festival slowly fades out of relevance and before long is cancelled completely. You don't really know what to do with your life after all of that. Oh dear. So with the exception of Frank, everybody didn't really have a happy ending, even though we rebuilt the town very well. It's a bit sad, really, isn't it?